Okay, Pokemon trading card game. Obsidian Flame, Scarlet and Violet booster box. I've got two of these. Is into this as much as I'm really into this kind of stuff, but you know, with the videos that are on YouTube now, that's kind of, I mean, that's more than enough for me as just a fan of the series and a player of the game to enjoy this type of stuff. But with where I'm at in Scarlet and Violet, and with how that game has played out with me so far, and you know, with my history in the series in general, and with Pokemon cards, it's a funny story. I'll kind of explain at the end how I got into that when I show you some of the two cards I plan on. All these cards I plan on putting in a binder that I'll feature to kind of cap off me doing this. But I do have a history with Pokemon trading cards, and it's kind of a funny story. But with where I'm at in the game, and with this, with Obsidian Flames kind of being like a obviously it's part of the Scarlet and Violet generation, but with how I'm playing the game, I felt like it was more than appropriate for me. So I did try pretty hard to, more than appropriate for me to do something like this. Before I get started, I do want to say that I plan on opening both of these in one video. I think it'll be the most efficient way to just get them both opened, and unless a package comes during the course of me making this, that's the only way this is going to be like a two-part video. I'm expecting a package today. My family's expecting a package today from a family friend, and I was told to bring it in whenever it comes. Obviously to get it off the front porch, but also to check to see if it's something that needs to be, you know, refrigerated. So when and if that happens throughout the course of me making this, I'll have to pause the video, obviously, and go bring that in, and then check to see if it's something I need to preserve. But other than that, I guess I'll go ahead and get started. There's 36 packs in each booster box, I believe, if I remember correctly. And I'm not sure how many cards come in a pack, but okay, 10. But I guess I'll go ahead and start. Oh no. Hope they're not all this hard to open. I hope they're not all this hard to open. Okay, so we got Froakie, Boon Sweet, regular Vulpix, not the Alolan version, Phantump, Darmanitan. I think this is one of the starters of a generation that didn't play its second formed evolution. But yeah, Darmanitan. We've got Dartrix, Sun and Moon starter, Frogadier. I believe this is also a starter, second form, stage evolution of a Pokemon in a game that I wasn't fortunate enough to play. Meltan, Lycanroc. Okay, that's nice. And these obviously have moves because you know, I'm just opening them for my pleasure, but this is part of a bigger game, obviously. Togekiss, the final evolution from Togetic and Togepi. psychic basic energy, and kind of QR code for an online reward. So I'll put that off to the side. I guess I'll keep everything I've opened thus far in like a makeshift deck until they're ready to go into the binder, obviously. Oh goodness. I'll try to do it on camera as best I can, but if they're not opening, then I'm gonna have to do something like that to get through the video. Magneton, Generation 1, really cool art here. Yeah, I mean, just the final or the second evolution of Magnemite. Oh, it's got that on the card, so that's really nice. And really kind of beautiful art for that Pokemon in particular. Timpole, Heatmore, Lillipup, Letter of Encouragement, Chandelier, Patrol Cat, Litwick, Oinkalone, Palafin, so it's got like a kind of holographic kind of tone to the card itself. I know there's different types of like holographic cards in these packs now. Back when I was opening Pokemon cards, or just around them younger, I believe it was just like the card was holographic or not. I'll show you 2 cards at the end of this video that I plan on adding to my binder, and the story that goes along with them as to how I kind of got into this. But it was really just whether, if not like back in the day, the card was holographic or not, is what kind of, you know, made it cool, or just you know, worth anything. And that's not fair, because like there's a Moltres card that I had as a kid that it wasn't holographic, but it did have like all these other kind of things on it that I remember making it incredibly valuable. But in addition to still having holographic cards, I think there's like different tiers to them, if you will, in this series in particular. So like that Palafin that I got was holographic, but there's different, like there's certain cards that'll go outside of the borders, and I think that's a specific class or set within this series, in addition to them being holographic, that makes this a little bit more interesting now. But there's Cleffa, Inky, Toadschool, Houndour, Houndstone, Diggersby, Camerupt, Surskit, kind of holographic fire basic energy, Claydol, Sapphire, Ruby and Sapphire. Oh, and it's holographic too, that's cool. Ruby and Sapphire generation Pokemon. Emerald as well, one of Steven Stone's original Pokemon partners. I actually really like this card. This might be kind of like what Jinzo was to me in the Yu-Gi-Oh series. I actually had a Jinzo growing up, and out of all the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, that I inevitably came across or got a chance to see. For some reason, that was one of my favorites. Maybe because he was in in the anime as well, the Yu-Gi-Oh anime. I think there was an episode where Jinzo had a pretty big part in it. Basic energy, steel basic energy, I think. This is what that icon is, and another redeem code. I really wish I had an easier time getting these open. Yeah, I'm not sure how I came across Jinzo as a kid, but I did have one. I think I got it from someone else. And whenever I got it, I kind of tried to make like a deck around it. Kind of like how people in the series were doing with their signature Pokemon cards. And I remember I was able to do it for some time because I had so many of them, and after I got Jinzo, it was kind of the end of that story. Toxel, Charcadet, got a shiny Charcadet in Pokemon Violet, Pawneard, Sinestia, Blossom, Pokemon League headquarters. Oops. Move this up a little bit. There we go. Pokemon League headquarters, Lunatone, Ruby and Sapphire generation Pokemon, Emerald as well. I didn't realize my camera was that far down. I hope everything before this was relatively easy to see. Bonsly, another holographic. This is what I mean. Like, so I got a regular holographic Palafin. I guess it would have been the pack before last or the last pack, but this is what I mean about the Pokemon will extend through the borders, and it's also holographic as well. But I think in addition to them just being different, the same card but different types, I think that plays a role in the actual way that the Pokemon trading card game is quite literally being played now by people who collect these cards and compete with them. But this is exactly what I mean about the different types of holographic cards in Jita. It is kind of holographic, whole card. And fighting basic energy. I'm going to try to open this off camera because I don't want to lose my camera's current position. I think that's what threw it off when I was fighting to get some of these card things open. The camera itself was moving, but they're kind of difficult for me to open on screen without potentially moving the desk itself. But I'll try to do it in the next pack and see how the camera's position is relative to me opening the card packs on camera. If it doesn't move too much, I'll try to do that. Hopefully being more enjoyable. Tadbulb, Steenie, Wooper, Baltoy, the evolution before, Claydol, which is another holographic card that I got earlier, which might be my favorite card that I've pulled so far. Cloudsire, Granbull, Malamar, Nose Pass. It's got a kind of shine to it. Nose Pass is a Ruby and Sapphire Pokemon as well. Emerald. Emerald is in that generation. It's just the last game in that generation. Kind of like a Steven Stone-less rendering or iteration of that game. Volcarona kind of looks similar to Nose Pass. And Houndstone EX. And what kind of basic energy is this? What element is this? Is this steel? If this is steel, then I don't know what I pulled earlier, but some kind of basic energy. Let me see. Yeah, I can't tell. Let's see. I saw a squirrel the other day eating a nut in a tree for like the longest time. And he was not worried about anything other than what he was eating. He was all by himself. All his friends were out around another tree playing with each other. I feel like I'm that squirrel. Let me see how the camera is kind of relative to what I'm about to do. If it didn't change too much, I'll try to do that again. Looks relatively the same. Doesn't look like it changed too much. Tadpole, Numel, another Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald generation Pokemon. I saw this card on a number of other people's videos of them doing this, and it's probably self-explanatory, but having played the game, I like how it's a previous generation Pokemon, but it appears to be in kind of Artisan with the windmill in the background. And Artisan is a interesting place in Scarlet and Violet in that it kind of seems to be a kind of like the last bastion for would-be original trainers in Scarlet and Violet, or how that's how I interpreted it. But I like that Numel's in this and in that environment. Pretty cool. Mawile, another generation, Ruby and Sapphire. Togedemaru, Serena, Lycanroc, Probopass, the evolution of Nose Pass that I showed you earlier. It's on the card as well. This isn't holographic like Nose Pass was. Pokemon League headquarters, Audino. It's got a shine to it. It's kind of slightly holographic as well. And Toxtricity. And Electric Basic Energy. I felt like the positioning on the left box was different relative to where I'm seeing it now, but it still looks good, so I'll leave it where it's at. I'm gonna put this, there's like a mini deck here now of cards. I didn't realize those packs were gonna amount to that much. They kind of have. Carvana. You know, because I want to get through this, I don't know if I'm going to have time. I've only been pointing out the kind of Ruby and Sapphire generation Pokemon that I'm pulling, but with all these Pokemon and how they appear, you know, I encourage people to go check out the Pokemon Wikipedia. Is extensive for players of the game and for people who just want general information. Like, you know, I think they even have like a whole different sect of Wikipedia kind of dedicated to it's like a Pokedex on the internet. But I encourage people to check out some of these cards, and if you're interested, just, you know, look them up online. Lechonk, Fungus, another nose pass. This one isn't holographic like the one earlier. Grumpig, Belly Bolt, Trevenant, Electric, Pawniard, and this one is slightly holographic, and another Cheetah card. And Grass Basic Energy. Greavard, Lechonk, Togepi. This is what I mean. You know, Togepi is it's a staple Pokemon in the series, kind of, in a way. And it appears to be in kind of like an artisan setting as well. Artisan is a very flower-heavy city in the game, quite literally, with the way it's set up. And with all the Sunflora statues and Sunflora Pokemon that you can just kind of interact with throughout the town. But with Togepi in particular appearing in this setting, I think is really kind of interesting for the Scarlet and Violet section of the Pokemon trading card game. And with Obsidian Flames in particular, which is kind of why I wanted to do these boxes, period. Lampent, Vengeful Punch, Skarmory. Oh my gosh, one of my favorite Pokemon. One of the Pokemon I believe to be a part of what Miraidon is, per the lore of that series. I've said this in a Gundam Latreia video. I'm not sure how many people heard me, but I'm of the belief that because I island scanned with Rotom for a, what can you island scan for in that area? Oh, I was trying to catch a shiny Rotom in Ultra Sun. So I used the same method I used to catch a shiny, just a regular Charmander that was a girl, timid in nature, that ended up birthing my shiny Charizard that's featured in the Ultra Sun videos. But because after I did that, when I was looking for a shiny Rotom outside of the battle tree in Ultra Sun and Moon, when I did that, like the second or third Pokemon I ran to was a shiny Lickitung, and it didn't occur to me until after the fact that, because of like what Rotom is and how the series started out and where it is now, that the current form of Miraidon in Scarlet and Violet could be Steven Stone's like reflection after going to a wormhole with Skarmory, Rotom, and its desire to be a real Pokemon. Like the shiny Lickitung, it essentially revealed to you if you were to play the game like I did. But I get so into this stuff. But yeah, Skarmory is definitely, this and Claydol are probably my favorite cards I've gotten so far. Espeon and Evolution. It's an awesome Pokemon as well. Whoops, I just hit the camera. Still good. Litwick, holographic. Or everything but the card is. I'm not sure what that means. Greavard. And a holographic Togekiss. And a Fire Basic Energy. Check out the camera one more time. Yeah, I think I'm fine. This setup happened to be like, I'm really fortunate that this happened. I didn't have to go through, I say trouble, but it was never trouble for me to film even the Shiny Belden video. It was just a matter of me having to prop my phone up on the case that it came in, but for the most part, I didn't have to do nearly that much to get this set up. I just had to clear my desk off. You know, after you, and where the keyboard thing is on this desk happened to be like the perfect distance from the desk itself. Nothing I've done thus far has been strenuous by any stretch of the imagination. It's just, I think some of the most videos that caused me the most trouble to make were the early EFF SD Gundam Battle Alliance videos, but yeah, I think I'm fine. The camera looks good. All right. Litwick. Aldino. Excuse me, Charmander. He always kind of has a special vibe about him. I feel like I want to move this up a little bit more. All right. Dratini. Electros. Flamigo. Was the Electros? No, it's just a regular card. Flamigo. Bronzong. So already Bronzong, the holographic Claydol, the regular Skarmory, some of my favorite cards I've already pulled. Surskit, Herdier, Thundress, kind of holographic. And I thought that was a steel basic energy, but there's another one I got earlier that could very well be classified as a steel, basic energy card. Seems so much easier to open. I mean, I thought these would be a lot easier to open. It seems like if you can get in the top here. Gloom. I'm not sure if that's an artisan setting that it's in, or maybe a Team Star base, since it seems to be in or around almost like a graffiti-like environment, but definitely Gloom. Generation 1 Pokemon, I believe, Bronzer in the snow. I love it. I can't tell, no, it's not holographic, but it's still a Bronzer. Snubble, oh, this is awesome art on this. It looks like pretty watercolors. Kind of like a Dragon Ball Z on steroids or something. Caspikid. Or Capsakid, excuse me. Capsakid. Sharpedo. I think that's a Ruby and Sapphire generation, but really cool art. I guess I decided to switch it up and kind of make them look a little bit more. Well, it is ferocious. That's actually a very... Sharpedo is like... He also has one of the effects that is like with rough skin. Other than like toxic over the course of a long battle, where it will just like eat a Pokemon alive. Sharpedo's rough skin, excuse me, takes off a lot of damage if you make physical contact with it. And I think he's might be one of the only Pokemon with that effect that I know of. Lanoon generation, Ruby and Sapphire generation as well. Dharma Nitin, I think this is a card I got earlier. Dharma Nitin. Toad School, newer kind of different take on Tentacruel, which is a Generation 1 Pokemon. This appears to be holographic, everything but the picture. But this is kind of like one of those newer generation renders of an original Pokemon, which is kind of what how the series has progressed over the past couple of years. Heatmore, another Claydol. I think this is just like the one I got earlier, and I was incredibly stoked to get that, so I'm really happy I got another one. Basic Energy. I mean, like, I'm not pressed if I don't get a card that is considered, like, excuse me, sorry, I had to crack my finger, considered, like, ultra rare, because I am more often than not content with anything I get, you know, period, but especially in situations like this, and when you do get cards like Skarmory, you know, those 2 holographic Claydolls that I got, and, you know, even the Bronzer and the Snow, those are kind of like the diamonds in the rough that I enjoy getting. Generation 1 Oddish, very, very awesome card. When I pull the deck away from the card like that, I'm just kind of checking out the camera. Oddish, yeah, Generation 1, classic Pokemon. Finizen, I think this is one of those newer generations Pokemon. Don't know too much about it though. Herdier. Glimmet. And like I said, I encourage people to kind of, when you're looking at some of these Pokemon, or if you see something and I'm pulling that interests you and you do want to find out more information about it, from the gaming perspective, there's, like I said, like Pokemon Wikipedia is so extensive that it's almost divided into 2 parts for players and people who just want to look up some of this stuff, you know, who may or may not be players. But from a player's perspective and someone who's doing this currently, if you see something like for instance, Charmeleon it's a classic second form evolution of Charmander, which is, you know, that's what the series started around. So a lot of people know Charmander, Charizard, and Charmeleon. But as the series progressed, things changed, you know, and I would say probably Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald generation, you know, everything from there, the series did kind of take a turn that, you know, it wasn't, the games started to change naturally. So the Pokemon did. So, you know, if you're interested, maybe check out some of these cards and some of these Pokemon online and see like what generation they come from, and that'll give you more insight onto, you know, what's happening as I'm opening these boxes, and for, like, you know, with the series and stuff. But Beartic, Charmeleon, Excadrill, oh my gosh, another steel Pokemon. I'm in love right now. Everything, I'm so like stoked over everything that I've gotten thus far. Ortega, Team Star, Boss, Blossom, and Darkrai. There's the Darkrai again. It's kind of like holographic. I got a Darkrai recently in a mystery gift for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, but I don't think you... Yeah, that's on the channel now. I got that a couple weeks ago, the Darkrai mystery gift. Yeah, the Darkrai mystery gift was around the time that I got the shiny Lucario mystery gift that happened right around the same time. I think the Pokeball mystery gift was a little bit later. Drillbur, an earlier stage of Excadrill, or the pre-evolution of Excadrill, which is what I got in the pack before this. Really awesome concept art. Let me check out the camera. All right, Drillbur, Cubchoo, Spoink, Dynamo, Dartrix, Frogadier, Stunfisk, Boonsweet, kind of holographic, Lunatone, Ruby and Sapphire generation. I'm not sure if the one I pulled earlier was holographic like this, but this one is. Oh damn, I just kind of butchered Entei, didn't I? Got a good look at him before I got to him. I sped through some of the earlier cards. I do apologize about that, but hopefully you got a look at them. The only reason I did that is because I was kind of, not frustrated, but they are cards that I weren't too familiar with, so hopefully you guys got a good look at the concept art. I'll try to slow it down a little bit, but Entei, wow. Holographic, really cool. Entei is an amazing Pokemon, one of the 3 legendary dogs that you can find in the Pokemon Crystal series, I think, and a grass basic energy. I'm gonna have to make a new deck here soon. Rhyme, one of the gym leaders in Scarlet and Violet. Rockruff. Kind of interesting way to depict him here. I'm not sure what that means, but I've got a shiny Rockruff on my team. Sun and Moon Pokemon. Wiglet. Shuckle. Pidgeotto, classic, Dragonair, one of the few Pokemon that'll actually mate with the Charizard, if you guys didn't know that, in addition to Milotic. It's probably more difficult to get considering you have to trade for Milotic, I think, while it's holding an item, but Dragonair is another Pokemon that'll mate with Charizard. Armarouge. Looks like the Scarlet version. I can only get Ceruledge in my game because I have Violet Lechonk. Interesting concept art. Again, newer generation Pokemon, but the card itself is holographic. Charcadet, holographic as well. Palafin. Holographic, and I believe it's similar to the one I pulled earlier, and electric basic energy. Dang, I definitely think I'm gonna have, I don't know how many of these cards are gonna fit in the binder that I got, but we'll see ya. And I'm putting them in there. Surskit, Darumaka. I love the way he's depicted here. This is awesome. I love how they put that card like in contrast to Surskit, like the Pokemon no one wants, but has beautiful art here. And then they've got a second evolution of a start. Well, I guess that's the first evolution. I think Darumaka might be a starter Pokemon. but interesting contrast in Surskit. Surskit. How's it pronounced? Surskit. Looks like we got a regular Froakie. Boonsweet. Salazzle. Book Trio. Kangaskhan. Regular 1 generation. 1 Pokemon. Nosepass. Dynamo. I'm in love with this, everything I've gotten this far, because like with me kind of like cosplaying as Steven Stone and Ultra Sun and Moon, and obviously Scarlet and Violet thus far, and him being a Steel trainer, and it's just like everything that's happened thus far, even in this one booster box, I couldn't be more happy or content with what I pulled, and the fact that I've been fortunate enough to have been able to film it, because you know, I love him. I've loved him ever since I saw him in the games as a kid, and with how I've been able to cosplay him in Sun and Moon and what came out of that, and with everything that's happening this far, this couldn't be more like cool, holographic as well. But Caesar and Fire Basic Energy. Sorry, I had to bring that one back. Bisharp, just a regular Bisharp, another Steel Pokemon. Yeah, I don't know. I want to get through these boxes. I can't get too much into the, theories about Pokemon like this. Magneton. Temple. Heatmore. Ortega. Volcarona. Altaria. Ruby and Sapphire generation. Beautiful. Every playthrough of Ruby and Sapphire is whether or not I was going to pick up one of these or a Flygon. Obviously, until I got to Salamence, but beautiful artwork. Amazing Pokemon. Palafin. I think this is the evolution of Finizen. I've never seen one of these or in the game. I've seen a Palafin, a Finizen in the game, but I haven't seen a Palafin. But it's an interesting evolution considering Finizen is a dolphin. I'll look more into Palafin later in my own time, because I've never seen them in the game. I've seen Finizens, but I haven't seen one of these. So I might look that up later. Togepi holographic as well, and Claydol. I'm just loving this so far. I'm not tripping at all. Like, this is kind of, this is kind of how I dreamed it would be going. Well, actually not really, because in water basic energy, but I mean, just for me, this is like a dream come true. It's probably a better way to put it. This is like a dream come true. I couldn't be more excited with how everything's played out. I may not sound as clearly I'm probably not sounding as excited as I am, because I'm still got a little cold, got a little sick recently, but really happy with the way this box has turned out. Probably can't tell because Um, but I'm incredibly stoked. I couldn't be more excited with everything that's happened. But I am coming off like I'm on the back end of, like, it seems like once a year, once every time it gets cold, I'll get sick. So it wasn't too bad, but I did get a little something. Vulpix, Phantom. I need to do a better job of hiding some of these cards in the back, huh? Paldean Wooper. That's what I mean about there being not just newer Pokemon. They're not just newer Pokemon, but they're different. They can be found in different generations, and so they're different. Sometimes newer iterations of already kind of original Pokemon that had their own stories to tell. But perfect example is not just a Wooper, but it's a Paldean Wooper. Buizel. I love this Pokemon. I caught like so many shiny Buizel when I was farming shiny Veluza. And even I actually caught two on camera, ran into one, failed to catch it off camera, and then I caught a shiny Floatzel. Everything except the one that I didn't, the shiny Buizel that I failed to catch is on the channel. So I failed one shiny Buizel, caught three, I think, or two, however many is on the channel, and then I caught the shiny Floatzel on the channel as well. Oh my goodness, excuse me. Hope that wasn't too loud. Whiscash. I was just drinking some water. I'm gonna have to do that occasionally to get through talking. Obviously, Floatzel, the evolution of Buizel. Awesome. Umbreon, another evolution. It's not holographic, but some of my favorite cards thus far, other than the holographic clay doll that I got two of now. Some of my favorite ones aren't even like holographic. The art on that Umbreon was incredible. Very beautiful artwork. Crabrawler, Sun and Moon Pokemon. Glimmet. I saw someone else pull the Umbreon, and I felt like saying the same thing when they pulled it. I'll pull it back up here. I mean, the art on this evolution, it's not holographic, but it's just, I mean, you can't make a cooler looking Umbreon, better looking Umbreon. What was that game where you got to play, you had like two Umbreon and Espeon? It was on the GameCube. Was it Pokemon? It wasn't Coliseum. That was on the 64, but it was another GameCube game, and you had an Umbreon and an Espeon. So instead of like walking around with like a starter, you had this and Espeon. You had to play through the game with them as like your companions. Really fun game. Crabrawler, Glimmet, holographic Glimmet. A bit of a jump scare on the final card. Cloth EX. Really pretty card. Cloth can be found in Scarlet and Violet. And whatever basic energy that is. Oh, so we gotta catch them all on the back of all of these. It's awesome. Lillipup, Toxel, Charcadet, oh gosh, Pawniard, Houndoom. I don't think this, yeah, it's not holographic, but still, Houndoom's awesome. It's a Crystal Generation Pokemon. Brassius. I think he's the gym leader in Artisan, which is the flower city I was talking about earlier. Really, really interesting place in Scarlet and Violet. I think I said it was like the last bastion for original trainers in that game. That's how I perceived it to be. But Scarlet and Violet's definitely interesting. All of these games, Pokemon in general, the series is relative to, you know, whoever's playing it. Magnezone evolves from Magnemite, Magneton, excuse me. Magneton, yeah. But Brassius, yeah, I think he was the gym leader in Artisan. That's what I was talking about. Magnezone, Excadrill. This one appears to be holographic in this area, whereas the earlier one wasn't, I don't think. And wow, Pidgeotto. This is pretty cool. I don't know if this is like super rare or not. There's been some kind of interesting artwork, you know. I'm trying to think of another Pokemon that looks similar to the way Pidgeotto looks that I pulled thus far. Which is the one that I said it had like a kind of goofy look to it. I don't know. This isn't goofy, but it definitely is interesting artwork. The card itself blends out. Like Pidgey, you know, the artwork is the card itself, and it's got a really kind of. I like that one. We'll have to keep that one. I wonder how rare this is, if it's rare at all, but I do like it. I've always loved Pidgeotto. Yeah, the way Pidgeot looked, the final evolution of Pidgey, and because Pidgey turns into this, and then this will turn into Pidgeot. The way Pidgeot looked in Fire Red and Leaf Green, and the way your rival will use him, is one of the reasons that the evolution that comes after this is one of my favorites. Toxicity, holographic, and fighting basic energy, I think. That's what that is. I'm gonna rip too hard. Just knowing me, I'll destroy everything on this desk by accident. Smoliv. Love the art. Varoom. I think this is the final evolution, or the Varoom will evolve into this Pokemon. I think that's how it works. Because there's one of these Pokemon that you have to fight, and it's part of Team Star's thing in the game. But it's a giant car. So I'm not sure if Varoom is separate from the version that you fight when you're fighting the Team Star bosses. But yeah, I believe this will evolve into this. So, I guess Varoom is a steel Pokemon. I know it's got a ghost aspect to it as well, so maybe it's a newer generation steel ghost. Kind of oxymoronic if you think about it, if that is the case, but I don't know if it is Salandit or Salandit. Electric. Lapras. Classic Pokemon. I'm sure a lot of girls might love a Pokemon like Lapras. Yeah. Appears to be some interesting colored water, but yeah, Lapras is a fan favorite. Masquerain. Gumshoos. Carvana. Slightly holographic as well. Pidgey, wow. So now we have Pidgey and Pidgeotto. This one's holographic. I'll have to see if I can put them together in the binder at the end. I love how this one looks, especially in contrast to Pidgeotto that we got earlier. So it's Pidgey, Pidgeotto, Pidgeot. This is Pidgey, holographic, everything but the art itself. And then Pidgeotto was the one that we pulled earlier that I said, you know, I don't know what constitutes a rare Pokemon, but for me, Pidgeotto, I mean, all the steel Pokemon that I pulled thus far are my favorite cards, including the double holographic clay dolls. But in terms of just like, you know, me as a person, Pidgeotto, the one that we got earlier, might be one of my favorite cards that I pulled, but for all the wrong reasons, because, you know, I'm just looking at it from what may be a rare card kind of angle. You know, Skarmory, that I got earlier was just a regular, Skarmory card, but that might be, the Pidgeotto we pulled earlier might be one of my favorite cards, but it's not, it's just because of what it was and the way it looked. I still think everything that came out of, like, you know, those clay dolls, Skarmory, Excadrills, I like them all for a different reason, but as far as the card itself, the Pidgeotto we pulled earlier might be my favorite. Holographic G-Dub, got her earlier, and Grass Basic Energy. Once you get in the top here, it's like, I'm not sure if that's how everyone else does it, but it's gonna have to be how I do it. Sinistea. Just a regular card. Tadbulb. Numo, an Artisan. Interesting. Like I said, interesting depiction of Numo. Mawile, another Ruby and Sapphire. Pokemon, Crabominable. Sun and Moon Pokemon that you can evolve outside of the Elite Four. Mawile. Arvin. Not sure what to say about Arvin. He's kind of self-explanatory. He's kind of maybe an antagonist, if it's fair to say that, and then rhyme. Gym Leader. And Montenerva, I think, is where she's found. Cryogonal. Thundurus. Not sure what generation he's from, but I think he's like a legendary Pokemon to some degree. And then Basic Energy. You'd think if someone has played Pokemon as much as I do, that I know what some of these Basic Energy you know, things mean, but I don't. Some of the ones like Electric are kind of easy to decipher and tell apart, like Grass, Fire. Those are easy to tell. That other one I got, I don't know. Weasel, Bone Sweet, Magnemite, Larvesta, Diggersby, Solrock. Wow, look at that. The counterpart to Lunat, the moon Pokemon that I think I got two of them earlier. But this is the counterpart of that. Amazing kind of artwork. I've been so biased to the Ruby and Sapphire thing throughout this Houndoom. Diggersby, Ice Q EX. I'm not sure what the EX means, even as someone who's... Could that be terrestrializing? Yeah, it has to be. So I guess this is like an Ice Q that's been terrestrialized, which is a new mechanic that you can find in Scarlet and Violet, Darkrai. Pulled one earlier. Like I said, I've got one in the game. Yeah, see, like, I don't know it. I don't know. I thought this was steel, but this could be steel too. I don't know. This is awesome. Like, my trash can is like overflowing with these Pokemon packs. It looks so crazy. Squovy. Just as I'm talking about how my trash can looks like it's like a pinata of these Pokemon packs has been busted open into my trash can. I run it as a Squovy. Palpitoad, Zigzagoon, Ruby and Sapphire. I think. Yeah, has to be. Scyther, Generation 1. It looks like he's out in front of the Pokemon League headquarters, which is odd. This is a this is a Pokemon that you can evolve into Caesar, which we had pulled earlier. But yeah, Generation 1, awesome Pokemon. I swear it looks like he's in front of the Pokemon League headquarters there. I'm not sure what that's about. Lycanroc. Probopass. I'm not sure when Nosepass was able to turn into Probopass, but Nosepass was a Ruby and Sapphire generation Pokemon. I know as the series progressed, you could evolve it into this at one point. Probopass, excuse me. Vengeful Punch. Stoutland. Holographic. Excuse me, sorry. You have to forgive me for doing that. I'm kind of like hunched over. I don't think my current posture is helping. Stoutland. Nice card. Darumaka appears to be kind of similar in that to Stoutland and everything but the illustration art is holographic. I love it. Absol EX, Ruby and Sapphire generation Pokemon. I'm kind of putting this, like, this card, the Pidgeotto that we pulled earlier, Skarmory, the two Claydol holographic cards that I've gotten. I put this card into that category. Those are all things that I love. Lightning, Basic Energy. After all that, I opened it upside down. Rowlet. Interesting depiction of Rowlet. Bumblebee. See, like Pokemon like this, I've never gotten a chance to play with. That might have been around the time I was in college or something. I don't know. Clearly, I was doing other things, because if I would be playing a Pokemon game. But yeah, Bumblebee, I'm not sure where he came from. Smoliv. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I think. Another Pidgey. I love this Pidgey art. That's so cool. See Pidgey like that. Pidgey has always had a very regal kind of... I got that vibe from the way Pidgey out looked in Red and Leaf Green and Fire Red, Granbull, Malamar. Let's see. Yeah, Granbull, Malamar, Grumpig, Snubbull. Love that. I don't know if the one we got earlier that was holographic in this area. I know the art wasn't, but I wasn't sure if this was like that on the other card. I think it was just regular. I think this one appears to have a holographic right there. Togedemaru. Hope you can see the contrast from the art as to the rest of the card. So I'm doing that. Tyranitar EX. Wow. As someone who is hunted for Veluza and got it, and I guess I'll go ahead and say I've gotten a shiny Iron Thorns and Scarlet and Violet. Getting this, and with the way the box is appearing right there and right there with essentially this. I mean this is that, you can do that and it'll make sense. But this might actually be one of the rarest cards I've gotten so far. I can't tell which is more valuable, this or the Pidgeotto, in terms of just like quite literally what it is. But this is a cool card and a good one, I think. I love it. As someone who's gotten a shiny Iron Thorns, this is going so perfect so far for me. Very, very thankful I got a chance to do this. It's really cool. And the mystery basic energy. But just because I've gotten cards like that and the Pidgeotto, that really doesn't mean they're my favorite. The Excadrill I got earlier was nice. The Skarmory, in my eyes, might be more valuable than, the Absol EX, the Tyranitar EX, the crazy looking Pidgeotto that we got earlier. That's, it's all relative. That's the way that's how valuable they are to me, because that's what I like to see about them. I mean, not that's what I like to see about them, that's just what I like about them. But at the end of the day, that Pidgeotto, Tyranitar, Absol EX, Ice-Q EX, those might be the more rare cards that we've gotten. But you'll have to talk to someone who's like a savant in that area. I don't know. Like I said, growing up, the Jinzo I got was like, what Blue Eyes White Dragon was to Kaiba and Yu-Gi-Oh. It was my card. Meltan, Charcadet. Love Charcadet. Had to take out a lot of Charcadet to get the shiny one to spawn in my game. Which I hate, having an auto battle like that against wild Pokemon, and I love it as fun as it is in the game. I do prefer the kind of traditional Pokemon games, the 8-bit style, and the storytelling that came out of it. Yeah. But anyways, Pawniard, Lillipup, another Skarmory. I love it. I mean, couldn't tell you what technically is more rare, but in my eyes, things like that, even Umbreon can't be traded. This is Espeon, but awesome cards. Sharpedo. Another Bunnelby. What's going on with Bunnelby? He looks so bummed out. We gotta help Bunnelby out. I don't think the other ones are holographic, but this one is. Froakie. And Gita. However you want to pronounce it. I have a kind of ongoing theory about her, and when Nimona showed up after I beat the gym in the city where you can get the leftovers item, you know, after that battle where Nimona is and some of the stuff that's going on, I just have a theory that Gita might be part of the reason Primarina exists, and that could be because of the Pokemon Delibird, which has a Paradox form and Iron Bundles. All of that stuff I kind of gathered from playing Pokemon Violet, but those are just my personal theories. And Psychic Basic Energy. Gosh. Once I get in the top here, I'm good, really. Just gonna get in there. There we go. Combi. We can go Combi or Comey. Comey's probably too fancy. We'll go Combi for room. Larvitar. It's not quite the same as the Tyranitar EX that we got earlier. That was holding up to the box art, but this will inevitably turn into, you know, either one of those Tyranitar that you're seeing. I forgot the form that comes after this, its name, but this will eventually turn into Tyranitar. Cleffa. Generation 1. Interesting. This is what I mean. Like, I highly encourage y'all to check out these Pokemon on the internet. Kind of see like where they're coming from. Paldean, Clodsire. Generation 1 Pokemon. Newer generation Pokemon. It's even got its own kind of... It's not just a Clodsire, but it's a Paldean Clodsire. And Clodsire at one point was an original Pokemon, obviously, as well. So, interesting contrast in the way that these are, you know, depicted from each other. Trevenant. Billy Bolt. Inkay, and Entei. Is that how it ends? Okay, no. Inkay. I love these Entei cards I've been getting. I love Entei as a Pokemon. This per like how I'm role playing Pokemon. This first box couldn't have gone better. I can't describe to you how excited that I was to do this and how it's turned out this far. Town Store. Holographic as well. Entei. And basic energy. You know what? I'll leave it like that. I have to speed through this before the box collapses. Oh gosh. Crabrawler. Clefairy, wow, look at the way that looks, Generation 1. I think this is the second form of the Pokemon that was holding up next to Clodsire. Those two had very different styles of artwork, and this just looks like a Clefairy as a toy. It's crazy. Casper Kid. Town Store. Lanoon. I'm just looking at all the decks I've gotten this far. It looks like a lot of cards. Alright, Lanoon. Darman Nitten. Darmatin. Darmatin. Yeah, Darmatin. We'll go with that. Dartrix. Wiglet. It's got a shine to it. Phantom. And another Caesar. I love Caesar. It's steel. I love Scyther, but I also love Caesar. And the water basic energy. I guess I can finish it on camera. Oh, jeez. This one's not going to break for me, is it? Let me see if I can just pull them out. Yeah, it can. Cool. Well, now the order got messed up. Inky. I'm making a new deck. I have 4 pretty big decks now. Inkay. So this is where the kind of promotional, I'm not sure if it's so much promotion, I'm not sure if it's so much promotion as it is quite literally a reward I can redeem. I'm not sure what that is or what it's going towards, but I guess I could check it out. It's funny that that's where that card fell after I had to open it the way I did. Toad School, Houndour, Tadbulb, Flamigo, Bronzong. Love these steel Pokemon I've been getting. I've been incredibly lucky thus far and couldn't be more happy. Beartic, Letter of Encouragement. It's got a Charmeleon. I'm not sure if the one we got earlier was like this. Toxicity and the basic energy. Gonna make me do all this. I'm kidding, it's not a problem. Oh my god. Sorry, excuse me. There we go. Make sure there's not a card in there. Yeah. Cryogonal. Maybe it's Cryogonal. Really cool. I'm not sure where he's from. Togepi. Bonsly. Dolive. Frogadier. It's probably Frogadier. I need to quit saying Frogadier. Stunfisk. Salazzle. Buizel. I do apologize for not remembering whether or not some of the ones earlier were like this in appearance, but wow, Caesar. Look at that. Wow. I've been extremely happy. It's not an EX card, but it appears to still, look at the art on that. Oh my gosh. How could they do that to Caesar? It's crazy. It's amazing. I couldn't have been more happy. This is, wow. And what makes this one so incredible is like all the other ones that we pulled earlier and all the steel cards that we pulled earlier. This is, look at them. It kind of makes me scared just looking at it. Wow. As much as I'm in Darkrai right there, and there's a steel basic energy. As much as I want to stay on this card all day and kind of go back and look at some of the other ones that I've gotten, I'm gonna put all of these in binder at some point, and I'll showcase the binder itself, so people will get to see them again. And I might just feature them again when I feel like talking about them in the future. But wow, Caesar, it's pretty cool. Darkrai, and the Steel Basic Energy. How cool is that? So we've pulled the Tyranitar EX, Ice Cube EX, Absol EX, that Pidgeotto, which is kind of similar to the Caesar we just pulled, but the Pidgeotto was inherently different in that. I just haven't seen anything like it yet. And then Tyranitar EX, and that Caesar that we just pulled. So we've gotten some pretty good. I'm sure there's something I'm leaving out, but we've gotten some pretty good cards. Steamy. Excuse me, sorry. I don't think my current posture is helping my heartburn. I do apologize if you heard that. Steamy. I'm not sure where she's at right now. So I brought her back up. I can't tell if she's, I don't know, I'm not too familiar with what generation she's featured in either. Paldean Wooper. Love the art on that. It looks really cool. Baltoy. Ruby and Sapphire. Is he floating above a shiny Rowlet? Or is that just like a... If he is, and that's with him being a Ruby and Sapphire Pokemon, I'd love that. I'm wondering if that's like a... a play on what Obsidian Flames is relative to some of the other Pokemon cards in this generation. I'm not sure. But if that's a shiny Rowlet, with it being a Baltoy, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Carvana, same generation. I love the artwork. Charmeleon. See, this one isn't holographic. The one we got earlier was, and I think there was one before that we got was not holographic. So, Excadrill, I love it. I love Excadrill. I've never had one. I don't know what generation it comes from, but I think at one point, this could be found on one of Steven Stone's teams in a later generation. Pidgeotto. Got one of these earlier as well. Mawile. I don't think we've gotten one that's been holographic like that. So that's cool. Clefairy. Was the one we got earlier like that as well? I don't know. I like the toy kind of artwork on it though. Palafin. I've gotten Palafin. Yeah. That is an interesting, and then newer generation. I'll have to look him up. And Psychic Basic Energy. Temple, Surskit, Numel. I hope you guys saw all those. I don't know. I was kind of speed it up for a little bit. And I don't know how. May have been tilting it back. Greavard, regular Greavard, Wug Trio, Kangaskhan, Wishcash, Young Goose, Darkrai, Thundurus, and Electric Basic Energy. I'm gonna bend these cards too much. Lechonk, Fungus. I think it's safe to say he's an artisan, huh? Nose Pass, Litwick, I'm not sure where he's at. Maybe this Litwick is in Montenevera and Scarlet and Violet. I don't know. They've got some houses that look like they maybe from there. Dragonair, Armarouge, Amoonguss, Rockruff. I love this. I love these cards. Swablu, and Claydol. Both from the same generation. Water Basic Energy. Tynamo, Phantom, just regular Phantom, Vulpix, Froakie, Floatzel, Umbreon. Look at that art on Umbreon. It's just Lapras, Buffalont, Buffalont. Never got to play with a Buffalont. I'm not sure where he's from. Voltoy again. Decidueye EX. Sun and Moon starter. So, now we've gotten a Decidueye EX, Absol EX, Tyranitar EX, and we've got some other cards that have been potentially rare, but those are the only EX cards that I've gotten. Some of the other ones are just really, Pokemon that I like that are holographic and different cards, Fire Basic Energy. So I don't know what that means. I don't know how people view EX cards as opposed to some of those other holographic cards that I would say were rare. Audino, Charmander, Dratini, Oddish, Generation 1. Not sure where Oddish is right now, but with him being kind of one of those staple Pokemon from the beginning, traditionally found in grass. I'm not sure where Oddish is. Seems to be kind of in the middle of doing something too. Seismitoad. It's pretty cool artwork for this Pokemon. I don't know where he's from. I like it. Arbovala. Team Stargrind. I love it. Scarlet and Violet antagonist, if you will. Yeah, another Probopass. I think we've gotten one of these that hasn't been like this. Poppy. I think she's one of the Elite Four members in Scarlet and Violet. Well, she has to be. I've done it, I think. Yeah. I do like this card, though. Intoxicity. Grass basic energy. Man, I'm gonna have to move these. You know what? I'm gonna have to. This might be 2 videos because everything that I've gotten thus far is kind of over this way, and I've got the QR codes for the redeemable rewards this way, and the boxes are here. So if I'm gonna have to do this again, I'm probably gonna have to create some space. I could do that real quickly while the video's rolling, which is kind of what I want to do, mainly because I want to get through this, but I also want to put everything I've gotten thus far in the EV binder that I have, and then make a video on that, kind of going over everything again, and then that'll be kind of be it. Darumaka, Buizel, Boonsweet, Magnemite, Masquerain, Gumshoos, Pupitar. This is what Larvitar will evolve into, and then this will turn into that right there. Tyranitar, essentially, is what this will turn into. Temple, Steamy, and Darkrai. And this may be dark basic energy. Now that I'm thinking about it, Darkrai is a mythical Pokemon. It's dark type, and it's got to be one of the, more important dark type Pokemon that are out, right? So maybe this is dark energy right here. You know what? After this, I might just move the deck somewhere. Keep going. Not that I'm trying to get through anything. I'm trying to have as much fun with this as I can. But I do want to put these all in the binder that I got, and then kind of show that off. Whoops. Dang up my hand. Finizen. This will evolve into all those paladins that we were getting earlier. This looks like a dolphin. Paladin doesn't. This is why I was kind of telling you guys that I would look up what the heck Palafin was after this. I have seen this though in Scarlet and Violet. Herdier. I need to quit saying Herdier. It's probably herdier, huh? Limit. Rhyme. Altaria. Mawile. So we got some Ruby and Sapphires consecutively. Mawile. I think in the Ruby and Sapphire, this was just a Steel type Pokemon. I think in some of the newer generations, it's since acquired a Fairy attribute. Don't know why that's the case. If it was originally a Steel Pokemon from Ruby and Sapphire, but it's kind of how the series has progressed. Like, Buffalon. Haven't seen it. I know it. Some of the antagonists towards the end of the game in Sun and Moon are using this Pokemon, so I don't know why. Mawile has since gotten a Fairy typing. Houndour. Barboach. And Togekiss. Fighting basic energy. I guess I can move the cards I've already got somewhere else. And then I don't know what I can do with them. I don't want to build on top of them. You know what? I'm gonna just move these. Move all of these. These are the QR codes I've got earlier. I can move these. And just put the next box to the left. Okay. Larvesta. That kind of looks like Clefairy earlier, doesn't it? Or was it Clefable? But it looked like a toy sitting on a tree. Larvesta is a newer Pokemon, I think. Clefairy was a Generation 1. Rowlet. Bunnelby. I love the way Bunnelby looks. And Stompy Stomp is its move. I guess it can use in the game if you were to play it. Smoliv. Togetic. So Togepi will evolve into Togetic, and then this will evolve into some of the Togekiss, which is the one that was flying earlier that looked similar to it. Wow, look at Ninetales. This is exactly why I've loved everything I've got, and I liken this to the way Skarmory looked. Both earlier Ninetales and Skarmory are earlier generation Pokemon, but I love the way their artwork is. Ninetales. And newer Pokemon, Poltergeist, and Eevee, wow. Not sure where Eevee is here. Maybe Los Platos, I don't know. Los Platos. It's one of the earlier cities in Scarlet and Violet. But Eevee itself is a Gen 1 Pokemon, I think. Rowlet and Credent EX. Okay. Squovit will evolve into this. Newer generation Pokemon. Kind of like Ice Cube, huh? In the way that not that just they're EX cards that I've gotten, but they're both newer generation Pokemon as well. And lightning, basic energy, or electric. I have to get some water in a minute. I don't think I'm going to stop the video if I do that. It won't take too long. Rockruff. Wiglet. Shuckle. I think Shuckle's a crystal generation Pokemon. I'm not sure. Bisharp. Newer generation. Crabominable. King Gambit. So just as I'm trying to get, through these, well, saying if they're newer, older generation, Bisharp is a newer generation Pokemon that just pulled 2 cards ago. So this newer Pokemon, Crabominable newer Pokemon, but Bisharp, the one before Crabominable, will evolve into this. Kind of interesting. Yeah, I mean, this is just the final evolution of. I think Bisharp wasn't even able to evolve into it. So not only is it a newer Pokemon, but I don't think it could turn into this until like a generation after the video was featured in. So not only is it a new Pokemon, but it's one that got an evolution in a later game. So don't know what that means. Wake alone. I think this is a newer generation. This shiny Pokemon looks pretty cool, I think. If I remember, I think it's kind of gray and pink and white. Kind of similar to Skitty. Is it Skitty in Ruby and Sapphire that had the kind of tail that twirled like that? It looked just like this, but it was a cat. Toadstool. Houndstone, similar to Toadstool. Newer generations. This is a newer iteration of a Gen 1 Pokemon, but Houndstone's newer as well. Both kind of similar holographic-wise. And Gita. Psychic Basic Energy. Yeah, we'll just move the promotional stuff to the side. Make room for the new decks. Pidgey. Love it. Generation 1. Love the art on Pidgey. Combee. Varoom. Larvitar. Toadstool. So Toadstool will evolve into this. It's a newer iteration on a Gen 1 Pokemon. Maybe him and Oddish are in the same forest, even though Oddish just appears to be dealing with something quite... I don't know, he seems to be preoccupied with something in his artwork, but Toadstool is in a similar lighting-esque environment, but clearly in a forest, whereas Oddish was surrounded by something, this kind of color, but just energy, I guess. That's the way I interpreted it. Newer Pokemon. That's a kind of reinvented Gen 1 Pokemon. So funny that him and Oddish could be seen in a similar environment. Solrock, Ruby and Sapphire, Dugtrio, Gen 1, Dartrix, Sun and Moon, Toxel, and another Caesar. I love it. I love Caesar. Love the one that we got earlier though. Fire Basic Energy. So I want to put everything I've gotten in this box since it's done kind of to the right of the box I'm about to open, and then everything that I open in the box that's is next to the left booster box decks, which are to the right of this. I'll put everything that I'm getting in this to the left of this box, and then all the promotional cards that were going where these decks are now going to go, I'll just have to move as I get them to another countertop, if that makes sense. Not sure if it does or not. How I just described that. My hands were sweating so bad at the beginning of this, maybe because I didn't know how it was going to go. Zigzagoon, Scyther, Gen 1, Meltan, Charcadet, Bellybolt, Trevenant, Electros. Wow, Lillipup looks kind of like Clefable did earlier, or Clefairy, and then what was the other one that we got that looked like a toy? Was it a Sharpedo iteration? I don't know. Numel. Entei. I love all these Enteis I've been getting. The movie trailer for the Pokemon movie that he's featured in is one of my favorites to this day. I love the vibe that he's giving off and fighting basic energy. Wow, this might eclipse like 4 hours. 4 hours, I don't know. As much as I hate to speed through this, I don't want to, but I'm definitely not pressed for time, but I want to put these in the binder that I ordered. And kind of, you know, feature them in it. Caspicade, Town Store, Cryogonal, Togepi, Frogadier, Trampa. I think that's a Moon exclusive normal dragon Pokemon. So newer generation. Pretty cool. I've always wanted one of these, but I could never get one because I got Pokemon Ultra Sun, and I wasn't willing to buy another Nintendo DS and get one that way because that's just, you know, silly. And I didn't really have anyone to trade with, obviously. I mean, which is funny because I use the global trading system in the Wonder Trade all the time, Sun and Moon, which is essentially like trading with someone else, but I was never able to get a Drampa. Probably just one of those Pokemon cards that I always wanted, or Pokemon that I've always wanted when I was playing Ultra Sun and Moon, and just never got because I wasn't playing Moon, I was playing Sun. Sharpedo, Larvesta, that must have been the Pokemon that was similar to, who was it in this one? I don't know, some of them just look like toys. Larvesta does there. Drillbur. So Evolving, Excadrill, Togekiss. Some of those earlier basic energy. My camera's still holding up. Yeah. Still looks good. Alright. Pawniard, Lillipup, another toy illustration, kind of toy illustration. Newer gen, Crabrawler, Clefairy. I love that we're getting all these toy Pokemon. See, it kind of just looks like a toy. Famigo, Bronzong, and first shiny. I got a shiny Bronzer, but it evolved into this Scarlet and Violet. I think this was featured in Diamond and Pearl, though. That's when it made its debut. Beartic, Greavard, Squovit, Caesar. Love Caesar. Love the one that we got earlier in Grass Basic Energy. Bonsly. I think this is the first Bonsly I got. There's an area in the game that resembles this clearly because it's in Scarlet and Violet because it's got bamboo just like this, and there's a Poke Station. What are these called? Where you can heal your Pokemon? Pokemon Center. Yeah, there's a Pokemon Center just like this in the same area where you can find this bamboo in Scarlet and Violet. It's kind of towards the end of the game when you're completing the main storyline that you'll come across it, which is why I can't remember it. Dolive, I guess this is evolves from Smalley. I'm not sure if this was featured in Scarlet and Violet, but this is where you can find it in Scarlet and Violet. Temple, Surskit, Espeon, Floatzel, regular Floatzel. I like that card. I've always liked Floatzel. I think it debuted in Diamond and Pearl. Stoutland, Diggersby. I'm guessing this is the evolution of Bumblebee. He was looking pretty bummed out in the tree earlier. I can't tell what Diggersby's doing here. Oh, he's using his ear to dig. Okay. So that's him. That's his ear. Because that's his other ear, and he's hitting something right here. Yeah, Bumblebee looked pretty bummed out earlier. Scovillain. Kind of looks like he's up to no good, huh? And lightning energy. It's like I've got a method now, but getting a hold of where I need to pull is kind of hard. So this will evolve into Scovillain. That was the last card in the previous deck. That I said looked like he was up to no good. I think in the game, if you feed it excuse me, it's some kind of apple in-game item. But if you give it to him, he'll evolve into Scovillain. Town Store. Craiganol. Love the Togepi and the flowers. Charmeleon. Excadrill. Steel Pokemon. Pidgeotto behind him. Look, I've never gotten a chance to play with Excadrill, but I've kind of always wanted one. Like I wanted a Drampa in Sun and Moon. I just never got one because I was playing Sun, obviously. Pidgeotto. Look at Snubbull. Love the watercolor art on that. Darumaka. Claydol. This might be my third Claydol I've gotten like this, which isn't a problem for me. Because this is a Steven Stone Pokemon. I love the artwork, love the generation it's from. I love that it looks like this. Holographic, it's cool. Fire basic energy. Let's see. Numel and Artisan. Little windmill, just like how I had to flip that back around. I love how like Numel, excuse me if that came out kind of loud. I love the generation he's from. I never really played with Numel Ruby and Sapphire, but I love how he's featured clearly in Artisan on this card. And Artisan is an area in Scarlet and Violet. So I love how they're maybe trying to tell a story there to maybe bring the series back to that direction. Greavard, newer generation, Dynamo. Phantom. Kangaskhan. Generation 1. Pokemon. Camera. This is what the new one will evolve into. Never played with this much in Ruby and Sapphire, but I love it. I love that whole generation. Gen 1 Lapras. Lapras seems happy, but he's swimming in some murky water, huh? Bunnelby. Bunnelby is so bummed out. All his cards. Bunnelby. Togedemaru. Sun and Moon might be where he was featured. Vegeta. Water basic energy. Let's see. Can't stop thinking about that Scyther that we got earlier, even over the Pidgeotto. I love both of those cards, as well as the Skarmories and the Claydolls and the Excadrills. I love those. Even the Ninetales we got. I mean, for me personally, I enjoy those kind of on the same level. I was talking about Jinzo earlier, but from Yu-Gi-Oh! But those cards in particular, I can't stop thinking about them. Those EX cards we got earlier were pretty nice as well, especially with me wanting to get Iron Thorns, and I've actually gotten Iron Thorns and Scarlet and Violet. I plan on uploading that and after this, but he's clearly on the box art here and there. And to get his EX card from an earlier pack, and then from me also successfully getting Iron Thorns, which is like a Paradox version of Tyranitar, who I've gotten in this over here somewhere. It's pretty cool, you know, and also getting the Caesars, the regular Caesar holos and holographic cards, and the Caesars that one, in addition to his other holographic cards that I've gotten. Like, this couldn't have gone better. I'm incredibly happy with the way things have turned out, if that makes sense. Bonsly, Dolliv, Timpole, Surskit, Dragonair, Armorogue, Armarouge, Ortega, Inkay, Froakie, and we've got a crazy looking rhyme. I like this. Don't know how rare this is in contrast to the other cards that have similar artwork, albeit what's a card that we've gotten that looks like this version of rhyme? I don't know. It's kind of hard to compare because Rhyme is a trainer, not an EX Pokemon, so I don't know. But I love it. Steel energy. I can't believe my hands were sweating as bad as they were at the beginning of me doing this, probably because I didn't know how it was going to turn out. But what was also funny about this video from an embarrassing standpoint, not just that, but the fact that, like, I was opening a pack in the first box, my fingers started shaking like I was under some tremendous amount of stress from trying to get into this little crack. But Vulpix, Froakie, Darumaka. I love his artwork. There's some in here, Rockruff, Darumaka. I don't know. I've never played with Darumaka, but I like the way he's kind of depicted here. Buizel. Masquerain. Gumshoos. Pupitar. I feel like I just ruined Gumshoe's card from the way I was putting it down. Wiglet. Town Store. And Thundress. Fighting Basic Energy. I bet a feeling this might be around 3 hours and some change, which is fine with me. I didn't plan on putting music over this, but if this exceeds 3 hours, I might do it. Only because it probably would make it easier for people to watch. Numo. Greavard. Tynamo. Phantom. Volcarona. So we've got the pre-evolution Larvesto that looks like a toy. And then Volcarona's got its own unique, not as watercolor heavy as the Snubbull artwork, but still, I like it. Volteria. Houndoom. Kind of similar vibe on Houndoom. Crystal generation Pokemon, definitely earlier gen. Letter of encouragement, some flowers. Phantom, another Phantom. This one's slightly holographic. The earlier one wasn't. Oh wow, Miraidon EX. That's pretty cool. I love it. I love it. I don't play much with Miraidon other than when I ride around on him in Pokemon Violet. But after you beat the game, you can use the one that you ride around on. Like you can change its form and use him as a Pokemon in battle with him. That's the one that you use throughout the course of the game, or you have an opportunity to catch one of these in Area 0 outside of the Zero Lab itself, but I haven't caught that one, and I really don't have a desire to because I can just use the one that I'm currently using, and I don't want to shiny hunt Miraidon too much, assuming it's not shiny locked. Mainly because I have other things, like, I've already gotten a shiny Iron Thorns, but just getting to him and beating the game, it's kind of what I've been doing. I want to beat the game and finish off all the trainers with shiny Iron Thorns before I kind of get the DLC, beat that. That's the kind of stuff I'm doing, but you can play with battle with the Miraidon that you ride, or catch one outside the Zero Lab. And Leaf Energy promotional card. I keep saying promotional card. It's not a promotional card. It's actually some kind of reward that I can redeem at a later date. What I don't know is what that's going towards. I don't know. It came right side up that time. Boonsweet. I like it. I like the art. Magnemite. Larvesta. Rowlet. Togetic. Volcarona. Poltegeist. Buizel. Shuckle. And Palafin. say this is dark basic energy. I'm gonna keep building on this deck until I get a bigger one. I don't have too much space off to the left. The first deck that's taking up the space over there is not too big. It's a smaller one, so I'll have to put everything else that I open around it. There's not that much space over there. Trying to figure out what I'm gonna do after this. I think I'm gonna put all of these in the binder that I got as well for these. I love it. It's an EV binder, and it's got the evolutions on the back, and it's got some of these elemental card icons that you see on the side. I want to put all of these in there, and then also kind of go over that one last time, and then make a video with all of them in the binder. Vulpix, Froakie, Darumaka, Weasel, Magnezone. Some of these might be out of focus of the camera. Brassius and Artisan. Crabominable. I love this Zigzagoon. And I also love Lanoon. I love that they're from Ruby and Sapphire. Artisan, wow, I love this card. I saw someone else get this because of what it is in the game, and with it being a flower city, and I consider it to be like Ruby and Sapphire, the Scarlet and Violet's kind of last bastion. Sunflower, like, you know, the Sunflora Pokemon. The Sunflora Pokemon statues. I love Artisan. I love this card. Definitely one of my wow, Tyranitar EX. We've gotten 2 of these, and I'm not tripping. Because I love Iron Thorns. I mean, you can kind of see. Yeah. Wow, and we got that right after the Artisan card, Psychic Basic Energy. Well, maybe this won't even be 3 hours long because I'm almost halfway through this one. And I'm almost 3 hours through this one, and I mean, I'm almost halfway through this box, and I think it's only been about 2 hours. Yeah. Redeem your rewards. Digital rewards may differ from physical products shown, available on mobile, tablet, and desktop. So maybe it's some kind of currency for that you can use. I'm not sure how it'd be used in the game, but you can use it elsewhere. This might be that package that I need to bring in. The doorbell rings. I'm gonna pause the video and finish this. Video, because I need to check and see if it's something that needs to be refrigerated. You know what? I might check and see that now. Okay, it was the package. That's fine. I'll get into opening these. I want to stop this video, and then when I brought it in, it looks like it's a relatively bigger package, and wow, my phone's on low battery anyways. So this might be a good chance for me to charge it. I just got a notification saying it's at 20%. So, but there, on the package itself, it's itemized, and the ticket clearly says that there's a portion of it that I think there's one item in there that looks to be like it's non-perishable, if I read it correctly, but the rest of it might have to be refrigerated, so, or even frozen. But this will be a good chance for me to charge my phone as well. So I'll leave this here, and I'm gonna go take care of that, and I'll be back for part 2.